Welcome to Edison TV. I'm here with John Kearon, founder and CEO of BrainJuicer. John, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, otherwise known as the Chief Juicer,
Yes.
Ridiculous titles incorporated.
John, could you tell us a bit about what BrainJuicer does?
Yeah, well, we are a market research business, which I'm afraid is at the very dull end of the marketing services, and we are trying to change it by revolutionising what market research is and does, by basically adopting the latest, greatest from behavioural science and challenging the people with clipboards on the corner of streets asking dumb questions of unreliable witnesses.
So in that case, what makes BrainJuicer's approach to market survey different from the traditional survey?
Well, I think in a nutshell, if you think of quantitative market research, which was born out of political polling in the sort of 1920s, 1930s, it's really a statistical sampling exercise and asking people weighted questions. And it assumes, I'm afraid wrongly, that we are rational and that human decision making is a kind of left brain, right brain mixture of rational and emotional. And if I had to summarize the whole of marketing, which market research tries to measure, it's like a fist of a brand proposition, the unique selling proposition, wrapped in a velvet glove of emotion. Yeah, so the emotion engages people, and then we impart the message and persuade people to buy. This is not, I'm afraid, it's plausible. It's just not how human beings make decisions. So behavioural economics, Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize for economics, he's a psychologist, has put forward the idea that humans make decisions as sort of system one, system two. So the brain is split, not left brain, right brain, but system one, which is the original brain, that's why it's one, which is totally emotional, instinctive, intuitive. And then system two, which is the clever bit, which is analytical, cognitive. But if you split it into computing power, system two, the clever bit, would be 50 bits of computing power. And system one, the emotional, instinctive bit, is 11 million. Basically, every decision by everyone in almost every circumstance, investment included, I'm afraid, is made instinctively, intuitively, emotionally, and then we use the system two clever bit to post-rationalize our emotional decision. Whether we're buying a house, a car, whatever, this is the way it works.
These innovative techniques have given you a tremendous reputation, so why aren't you bigger?
Well, we're trying, we are, I suppose, taking the long road, so not acquisitions, we're not doing M&A, we are growing organically, client by client, country by country, project by project, and we're basically having to change habits in market research because they're used to buying advertising testing, concept testing one way, and we do it completely the opposite. So when it comes to advertising testing, the only thing we're measuring is emotion. How people feel is the best predictor of what they do, not what they tell you they're going to do. So a classic advert like the 3Mobile pony. Have you seen the dancing pony that's been the sort of hit of the last few weeks? Yeah. There is no discernible message. They're a client of ours. They've credited BrainJuicer with being the inspiration for that advert, and it's already delivering sales. It's had something like 8 million views, and they're transforming their fortunes. And you just have to measure how people feel. And if you ask them, and they say, "Did you like the ad?" They say, "Yeah, I loved the ad." Really, do you think you'd, change to 3? No, I'm not going to, change my behaviour. But they're wrong. We do. This is what happens. Another good example would be the Cadbury Gorilla advert. Yeah. There's nothing about chocolate or even Cadbury, but it was the single most successful advert that Cadbury have ever made. And again, if you ask the classic market research questions, would you buy more chocolate? No, but they did. And we were able to measure that, and that's just one of the products and one of the odd ways in which we do market research. But we are working with the biggest companies in the world, trying to persuade them to change their habits. And I'm afraid it takes time to change habits, which is why momentum is important, and we'll be a lot bigger. But we're not in a hurry. 5, 10 years, 15.
Well, BrainJuicer being a relatively small company, yet you're based in over 10 countries. I mean, how does that make sense?
I know. Being a mini multinational, I promise you, is not for the faint-hearted. I mean, I think we're in 13 countries and have 16 offices, and we're 170 people. So quite distributed, but basically we're trying to mirror the big multinationals, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Nestle, And you've just got to be in Brazil, China, India, America, so that's where we are.
And finally, what key messages would you like to give to any potential investors?
I know, this is the moment. Of course, you should, this is the place to invest. I think actually the message is, we are a bit contrary, so I preface this. Do not invest here for the short term. I mean, really, you know, we are on a long-term mission. It's going to take time to change habits, but we are in pole position using the latest behavioural science, which is changing our understanding of how people make decisions and basically changing our ability to predict better. And long term will be a great journey to be on. And but if you're into the short term kind of leaps and bounds, I'm afraid, I'm sure there are other investments that are much, much better. But if you actually want to be in something that's exciting in the long term, I think BrainJuicer, you know, we could actually make market research sexy. Who'd have thought that?
Lovely. Thank you very much, John. And for more information, please visit us at the Edison website.